Reports in the Weather Center. Obviously, weather is a huge factor in the firefight, and I'm glad to hear that the winds have died down. But actually, you mentioned the smoke might be clearing. Yesterday, CAL FIRE was saying that's actually not a great thing because it adds to the heating of the atmosphere and the fire.
Yeah, it certainly does. And so what we're talking about there is the insulation of solar heating. So when the smoke plume gets thick enough, it blocks out the sunlight and it limits how hot the ground level gets, because when we see the heat, what that's really happening there is the sunshine is hitting the ground, heating that up, and then that's when we see those temperatures get hotter. So when you see that thicker smoke, that does block out the sunlight enough to limit how hot those temperatures get. I know it seems counterintuitive because it means that the fire is very active at ground level, but that does play a big role there. Now, a live look outside from the Colby Mountain camera. Again, I know that we keep showing you this shot, but this is a very active area. It's on the eastern front of the fire, close to the Butte-Tehama County border. This is right now. Here's a look at the last 30 minutes of the fire activity in this area. And you could see overnight into this morning, this is the most active zone of the fire, especially considering what I'm tracking in the hotspot data. We're going to give you another update on that coming up here shortly in where the fire perimeters are compared to where you live. Now, as far as what's going on this morning, low to mid 60s in the valley, 50s to mid 60s in the foothills. We're in the 40s to low 50s in our mountain zones. Wind, the flow here is from east to west right now. It's not strong, around 5 miles an hour just south of the fire in Chico. Light for areas like Red Bluff and Redding, 3 miles an hour now for Chester out of the east to west. Through the day, we're seeing the southeast winds picking back up. Not too bad this morning, but 20-mile-an-hour gusts possible out of the southeast to northwest this afternoon, and then getting a little bit stronger later tonight around the fire. And this is the flow from the southeast to northwest as well. So this is where flames could be fanned later on today into this evening, and then we see those winds tamping down again overnight and then resurging a little bit tomorrow afternoon, but not to the same extent as today. So some decent news there. Winds staying more modest over the next couple of days, especially in the overnight and early morning hours. Humidity recovering fairly well, 60% or higher around the park fire right now. So that's good news. It means the moisture content in the air is a bit higher early on today, and it's not expected to drop all that low this afternoon. So positive there. Clear skies overhead as far as the cloud cover goes, but the smoke is a very different story right now. And the change of pace that we have right now is this cooler system tracking inland across the Pacific Northwest. This is actually going to drop some cloud cover across our region late tonight into early tomorrow. But because high pressure to our west and east is so strong, that's going to continue to leave us mostly dry. So as you get a look through the hyperlocal Futurecast, it's sunshine for most of us with that haze from the active smoke from the fire early to midday. Starting to see some clouds dropping south into our region by 5 p.m. Overnight, some cloud cover brushing on by. Not enough moisture in there to really spark off any showers or thunderstorms. And then we're, for the most part, sunny tomorrow with the hazy conditions persisting. And then we'll stay sunny for the most part later this week with a chance for some cloud cover and maybe even some scattered shower activity from Friday into the weekend. Temperatures today, upper 80s to lower 90s in the northern mountains. We'll end up in the 80s for the most part in the Sierra and southern Cascades. Foothills in the mid 70s to mid 80s for your Monday afternoon. Valley areas, looks like we'll be in those low to mid 90s today. So similar to slightly warmer than yesterday. Winds out of the southeast to 10 miles an hour. Gusts later this afternoon up to 20 miles an hour. So it's very similar today to what we saw yesterday. The winds not too substantial, but mostly from southeast to northwest. That's where we're going to see those flames fanned throughout your Monday. Temperatures heating up by a few degrees on Tuesday, back into the mid-90s in the valley. 90s to lower triple digits on Wednesday. Triple-digit heat likely across the board for the valley Thursday. And then we're going to continue to heat up later this week into your weekend with temperatures back to being well above the century mark and overnight low temperatures in the low to mid-70s. So, Kelly, if you're able to take advantage of the cooler temperatures today, it's strongly encouraged to do so. The heat is ramping up through this week. The positive news here is that we're not seeing any increased winds through the extended forecast.
I like the sound of that. Thanks, Court.